Hey guys, welcome to another Noah's Gaming PCs, another video. This is actually a follow-up video from a video that I posted 11 days ago. This video right here that I'm showing you guys with my mouse. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at it. Of course, probably some commercials, so we'll mute that at the moment. But I showed you guys how you could get very close. Of course, here I titled, again, clickbait, just a little bit. No pun intended. But anyway, yeah, so recommended settings for Starfield. We all know that Starfield is a big game, requires you. It's hefty. It needs a lot of good hardware. But I managed to build something close to the recommended, somewhere kind of in between the min specs and the recommended specs. I got a lot of. Let's see, is it here? I can't see. Anyway, there were some people that pointed out, oh, you're not going to be able to play Starfield, and they were actually right in the sense of the Xeon processor. So Xeons are server processors. My goal was to hopefully get close to being able to get close to recommended settings of Starfield using a Xeon processor. My pitfall was that this particular one that I had gotten, the Xeon X5675, which is only $13 on eBay, it lacks AVX feature for CPU. So Starfield requires that you have AVX supported CPU, and the one that I picked out here, the Xeon X5675, which only costs $13 on eBay, unfortunately doesn't have that. So I failed in that aspect. I did comment here a solution. So of course, since we have to change the CPU, we have to change the motherboard. So I have some links here. Let's take a look at these links here. I recommend going with a very similar price CPU. Again, this is sub the recommended settings for Starfield, but this is the i5 4570 with 3.2 gigahertz. And this is a motherboard or socket style LGA 1150. So again, I try to stick to the similar pricing. This Xeon is $13. This one here is actually $14, close enough. And I did find a motherboard a little bit more expensive than what I found here. The motherboard here was a LGA 1366 for $58. Again, it's right here. I think I got it on Amazon. I found something on Amazon as well for a little bit more expensive, $63, that would work for this CPU. But again, the point is this CPU has AVX, so you'll be able to play Starfield. It is sub recommended PC hardware requirements for Starfield, but if you were to get everything that I listed here, minus the CPU, minus the motherboard, and replace it with this CPU and this motherboard, I have no doubt that you would easily be able to play Starfield, get around 60 frames per second. And again, what's going to allow us to do that would be the RTX. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I replaced the RTX 2080, which is priced around $230. I replaced it with a RTX 7060, namely this guy right here. Now, I got this off of AliExpress. I am still waiting for this to get here. It's almost been 12 days. They promised 12 days shipping, and it hasn't yet arrived. But here's some hope, guys. So I paid $163. Or actually $170. So if we go back to what I initially built, the purpose of this video, let me go ahead and show you real quick. Get thumbnails on YouTube, which this is an interesting thumbnail, no pun intended, of course. Let me see. Hold on one second. I just want to show you guys without having to. Let's see. Okay, this is not cooperating with me right now at the moment. Maybe if I open this in a new tab, the picture will show, which it's not showing. I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, oh, there we go. Finally. Okay, interesting thumbnail. But again, recommended settings, Starfield PC Build. So you can play close to recommended settings, sub $500. So if we go back to the original video here, where is it? Right here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. I do these videos sometimes spontaneously. But again, you would save. I paid $170. Again, you're not getting as powerful GPU, but it's a little bit lower quality, a little bit less powerful. So 230 you would save if you go with my route. $170 for this GPU. Again, they've increased the price. They realize they're selling this GPU for a little bit too cheap. I got it for $170. Of course, I'm still waiting for it to arrive. Hasn't quite arrived yet. But there you go, guys. Basically, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys on this video. I do apologize. Again, you are going to be able to play Starfield for sub $500 if you build it all yourself, and you're going to save a whole lot of money. Again, let me just get the calculator out here and just let's do the math. I'm going to keep everything. Again, where we're saving the most money is the GPU. And so I think it pay so basically, so $475 minus the GPU that initially was $230. We have to add, I subtract that, so I'm going to add $170 the GPU that I paid. So look at that, we're just a little bit over $400. You're going to be able to play Starfield for a little bit over $400, fairly close to the recommended settings that they recommend. Again, so you replace this one, the CPU, and this motherboard for this CPU and this motherboard. All right. I'm going to find something very similar in my inventory to prove to you guys that you'll be able to do it. And then again, instead of getting the RTX 2080, you're going to get the RTX 2060 from AliExpress. Again, I'm not sure why they've increased the price so much here, but again, it's still, you're going to be able to play Starfield without any problems. I got it for $170, so I'll stick to that. Maybe if you're a new user, you'll be able to get this for close to the price that I paid, which was $170. But there you go, guys. You can get close to Starfield quality recommended settings for $415 if you build it all yourself, and you're going to be able to play it because this CPU here has the AVX CPU feature that Starfield requires. Again, I did some benchmarks. I looked at some benchmarks for this CPU. It is not as good as the Xeon, though they're priced similarly, $13 versus $14. But again, let me show you guys, there is still hope, and I want to prove to you guys. You may not take my word for it now, but I will do the test for it. But if you look at some recent videos that I did on the Xeon, and this is why I have a lot of positive vibes for the Xeon. So here's the Xeon here, Xeon here, Xeon here, Xeon here, and Xeon here. We'll look at these videos real quick. So here we are, we're looking at some Fortnite, and this is with the Xeon that I had previously used. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the AVX feature, but look at that. You can play Fortnite with no shudders, very nicely smooth, over 120 FPS. Look at that. This is with a Xeon. And this is, of course, with a GTX 1650 GPU, which is seriously below the value of this guy right here. That's why I recommend that you're going to be getting the RTX 2070, and you're going to get way higher FPS that you see here than in Fortnite. Look at this. This is a Xeon again, X5675 paired with a GTX 1650. Again, guys, keep in mind, look at the FPS we're getting on high settings in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If you guys get the 2060 here, you're going to be surpassing that FPS by a lot. And look at this, Red Dead Redemption 2 with the Xeon, right? With a much lower end GPU. And look, you're getting very playable FPS. And this is on the default high, relatively mix of low, medium, high, and ultra settings on the Red Dead Redemption, which we all know is a very highly demanding game. And look at this. Of course, the Counter-Strike 2. Xeon can play that easily, but unfortunately it cannot play Starfield because it lacks the AVX. And then look at this, we're getting 60 frames per second on the Wisher, yet another demanding. That's why, guys, when I say that, you know, you can find some substitutes. You may not have the CPU that lacks the AVX CPU feature that Starfield has. And look at this, with a much lower end CPU. That's why I recommend. That's why I have no doubt that once all my parts arrive finally, I'll be able to play Starfield with a RTX 2060 easily speaking. Okay, I have yet for it to arrive. I will make a video when it comes out, but I recommend getting a CPU like this guy right here, or this motherboard right here with this CPU, you're going to be expecting to get, again, here, oh my gosh, okay, we got the ads that are playing, but look at this. This is a highly demanding game, similar to Starfield. It's below the demands of Starfield, but still, hey, still, you can definitely get Starfield on the specs that I recommended. Again, look at Red Dead Redemption playing easily on the Xeon CPU. Look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider easily. Easily, you're going to get very playable. Again, remind me, this is high settings. So if we go back to the original video here, if I can find the original video, here we are. The original video, again, there is no doubt that you can play Starfield close to the high recommended settings for sub $500 easily. I just showed you guys that you can get it for a little bit over $400. You build it yourself with the parts of the video that I just showed you here. Again, don't mind the CPU motherboard. Replace it with this CPU, this motherboard, and then replace the graphics card, not with a RTX 2080. You could if you have the money for it, but stick to the RTX 2060. Not an issues. You're going to be looking at a little bit over $400, and you're going to get to be able to play almost close to the very recommended settings for Starfield. Okay, so guys, that's it for this video. Sorry I extended. I will try to make another video once I have all these parts, and I'll be able to prove to you that you can play Starfield on medium to low settings, getting over or close to 60 FPS on average, sub 500 easily, specifically $415 only with the specs that I just showed you guys. Again, guys, this is Noah's Gaming PCs. There's no fun throwing money at gaming PCs. Yeah, go ahead and get the RTX 4090. Spend well over $3,000 for a setup with using that graphics card. But that's, we know those high-end graphic cards, high-end computers, they can play these Starfield. Not a problem. Not a problem. The goal and why I'm passionate about Noah's Gaming PCs is that we take the low-end hardware and we show you guys you can play AAA titles on low to medium settings at 1080p and get well above 60 frames per second. And if you don't believe that, look at my test right here. Fortnite with a Xeon processor. Again, this is all low-end hardware. Getting over 120 FPS on performance setting. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, close to 60 frames per second. It's close to 60 frames per second on high settings with low-end hardware. Red Dead Redemption, look at that, on high settings, default settings, but the default settings, if I show you here real quick, look at that, makes a, you see ultra, low, high, medium, it's a mixture of that. Look at that, and look at the quality of the Red Dead Redemption. We know it's a highly demanding game. That's why I have no doubt that if what I've just showed you can play these games, Red Dead Redemption, look at that, playable FPS. Counter-Strike 2, look at that. Again, you're not going to be able to see the frames per second. It's down here somewhere. And I do provide I thought I provided some explanation here. Oh yeah, this is where I show you all the different settings for. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, very high settings. Look at The Witcher right here. Close to 60 frames per second. Of course, low settings, 1080p. But again, this is low end. This is what I'm passionate about, guys. I don't believe in being bullied by these big companies. Oh, you got to get the latest and greatest hardware, the latest and greatest CPU, the latest greatest GPU. No, you can play AAA titles if you have the right mindset that I'm going to play low settings or medium settings, 1080p. I'm going to get well above or around 60 frames per second. I don't need to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to play the games that I want to play. So again, guys, that's it for this video. I'm sorry I extended so long. Again, this is Noah's Gaming PCs. I'm going to be proving to you guys once I get all my parts that you can get Starfield close to recommended settings for sub 500. And just like I showed you guys, if you pick out the parts that I told you, you're going to be looking at a little bit over $400. Build it yourself. You play close to the recommended settings for Starfield, sub a little bit over 400, sub 500 easily, no doubt. And I have the evidence, the proof here. Look at this low end here. Again, this GPU here is kind of similar to the GPU that I recommended here. So that's why you can expect, if you can play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, look at that, play Shadow of the Tomb Raider, without shutters, nice. These are highly demanding games. Red Dead Redemption, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not so much CS:GO 2 or the Counter-Strike 2, but look at that. This is an optimized game. I wish Starfield was actually optimized, and you'll be able to expect, if they optimize, you'll have nice performance like you see right here on the Counter-Strike 2. And then look at that. We got The Witcher here, close to 60 frames per second. So anyway, guys, sorry I extended so much. Again, no, it's gaming PCs. Let me know if you found some value in this video. I tried the best way to explain this, improvised, on the go as I record this video. But definitely, you guys, you can play this Starfield for sub 500, close to the recommended settings, if you pick out the video parts. These parts that I told you, minus the change to the CPU and motherboard and the graphics card, you're looking at a little bit over $400, close to the recommended settings. Evidence and proof of that coming in the days, this week or next week, I promise, as soon as I'm getting my parts to come in. And that's it for this video, guys. Again, Noah's Gaming PCs, showing you how you can smart on a game, on a friendly gaming budget. Again, if you don't want to go for the hassle of building computers, check out my Noah's Gaming PCs, where you can find affordable gaming PCs ready to ship out to you right now, right here, right now. Again, Noah's Gaming PCs. I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless. Thank you so much for supporting me. And let me know if there's anything else you want. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. God bless. Goodbye. Again, Noah's Gaming PCs. High FPS at a low cost. See you guys on the next one. Be blessed.